Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this brand new episode of Building Benji's Movie Park in Planet Coaster. We are going to continue building, of course, the Harry Potter area. And I'm thinking now we actually do build Hagrid's hut, which I meant to do in a previous episode. We never actually got to it. So, well, let's get straight to it right now. Let's adjust the lighting a little bit. Here you go. I think somewhere around here is the best spot for it. Of course, as you know, we can just move it around, so it doesn't need to be in the exact right spot. Let's see what we can use to build it. The walls are a bit angled, which is definitely something that makes it a lot harder to do. Basically, all of the actual walls are not usable besides the off-grid ones. To be fair, this looks almost identical. We also have all these stones, which I think look a bit better because they're actually like 3D. Let me just try something here. We can start with just, 8 sides, kind of like this. It doesn't perfectly align. Wait a minute. There you go. Now it does. That would then be the big hut. It seems pretty small, but if you compare it to this figure over here, it is actually already way too big. So, oh, that is way too big. Well, I mean, it's not super far off considering that is Hagrid, and Hagrid is pretty big. We'll just go with this for now. We'll see. Gonna make those walls a little bit higher like so, and then those as well we can flip around, and that looks, oops, surprisingly clean. Damn, that works. And somehow we need to put that wooden frame in place as well, and I'm not sure this is gonna be super symmetrical, but it's gonna have to do. Just gonna put some planks here to create that effect. And the same thing on the other side. And then, as usual, we can simply do this. And I was afraid that was gonna happen. And we can just make them a bit bigger, like 110%. Beautiful. And then we just do the exact same thing again. Spin that around. Look, and the great thing about that is we can just scale that down for that second one right next to it. So that is great for later. Let me just, orange juice. And don't you worry, I didn't forget about the pillars below, because it's not just standing on its own, it is actually on a few pillars. Here, that is more like it. These can go. What I could try is putting an on-grid floor in. I'm not sure if that's lined up perfectly. It is definitely not. You can actually even use that as like a ceiling as well as the floor. However, first let's fix the door and the windows and the roof. More important. Obviously, first we need an actual hole in here so we can get through. Luckily, we have very skinny versions of these walls. Oh, and that fits just beautifully. Oh, that's perfect. We can even use these to kind of make the doorway a bit more 3D-like. Just using a bunch of these little stones. That looks pretty solid, yeah. Then I also suppose we should probably add like a wooden frame in there. It's hard to tell if that's actually there, but it makes sense for it to be there. Just something like that. Same thing on the other side. Everything has to be symmetrical, basically. And then on top, there appears to be another big, kind of bigger plank like this. Too bad we don't have smaller, thicker ones, but this will have to do. And to be fair, the scale isn't too far off. Like, this is a normal human. Hagrid is a lot bigger. It's maybe slightly oversized, but it's fine. It's not too crazy. For the windows, I don't think I'm gonna make actual holes. These seem just fine. It's maybe not as detailed or pretty, but it's fine. Here you go, just something like that. The least we can do is add some of these flaps though. Then we shall pop it right here as well, and possibly also on the back, maybe over here. There you go. Pretty nice. What I definitely noticed is quite some moss on Hagrid's hut, so let's go and make this a bit darker. Very desaturated kind of moss, and just put that here and there on Hagrid's hut, just in between these cracks. Beautiful. I haven't actually used a ton of these decals before, so this is new, especially over there on top. Yes. And down here by the wood. That looks so nice, dude. And even put those in these little cracks. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, that is amazing. Dude, look at that. I love it. Then, however, there is the roof, which I have been dreading. I suppose it'll have to be a very similar thing to the roofs of Hogwarts, which was just a lot of fun. As you know, this is going to be a very big hassle, I think, because this so far is not looking great. At the very least, we already do have the lower section, basically, to say it like that. Here you go. It doesn't look that great, but just bear with me here and pray
2 hours later.
Guys, I think I got it. Look, here you go. Yes, it is not perfect, but I think it is good enough for what this is. As you can see up top here, some weird things start happening, but we do need that top element anyway, so only thing is, I do think it should be slightly bigger, like so, and then place it back down. Is it the exact right angle? Maybe not, but are we gonna complain? No. Actually, let's put this on the ground where it's supposed to be. Like so. And I do actually think that is pretty much a solid spot for it, right? Let's extend this soil path a bit further all the way to the hut itself with a bunch of that underneath it as well. Here you go, just create a bit of ground. Obviously, we also need the second part of the building, but this for now will do. And then in general, let's also actually finish the path, just leading you straight to the entrance. Or can we just kind of go around it maybe? And over here, we'll just make a bit of a little square, little plaza, the entirety of which we have to paint that soil kind of texture. Like this. Actually, underneath, it probably has to be grass instead, because that makes the path a bit more isolated from the rest. Here you go, nice and clear. Yes, that's pretty nice. And the second building goes right next to it. Actually, this is a bit too far out. I think we should make this a bit more here. This seems a bit better. Very nice. No idea what's gonna be here, but we'll see later. Then for the spire kind of thing on top, I'm using this. I know it's not super similar, but I don't think we have a part like that, and I have no idea how to make that. So I think something like this will have to do for now. Besides, it's not terrible. It's just not really the same thing. I'm using the pointy thingy I used on all the towers on Hogwarts. So here you go. That is the tip of Hagrid's hut. What this also needs, by the way, is some stairs. So let's go ahead and do something like this. Very nice and simple. It's not as if you could actually walk over this because NPCs can't reach it, but that's not my problem. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't feel like making that second roof because it's really tedious. I mean, look, this is very simple. This is just grabbing it and scaling it down a little, like 60%. Well, that's very small. 75 maybe. There you go. And then just gonna get rid of some elements like the stairs we just made. The door technically also isn't necessary, although we can probably put that at the back here. Something like that. We just put it right next to it. What I will do right here, however, is make sure the door is closed because it also is in this image. Not that it really matters, but yeah, just cleaning that up. Besides, that also means we don't have to make interior, which is gonna save quite some time.
12 seconds later.
I changed my mind just now. This should probably be open because interior would be fun. And I just realized it's actually a lot easier than I thought because just like this, we have a door going from here to there, and this one can just stay open. Closed, I mean, stay closed. What did I sniff? However, before doing the roof, let's first do something fun. I'm gonna go here, grab these tiny ferns, and you already guessed it, I will put them right underneath the hut itself to make that look just a little bit more 3D, a bit more realistic. Here you go. I just love the way that looks. Incredible. Just around these pillars and a bit of a bigger one right there. And hell, even some of these tiny rocks, which I will scatter around as if these are just kind of part of the landscape, really. You may have noticed the slightly larger rock in front of Hagrid's hut in this photo, which I'm also going to add just right over here, as you can tell, just for that extra bit of accuracy to kind of, you know, compensate for all the areas that are not accurate at all. Also, some fun details could be these tiny paths where people supposedly went over the grass. Here you go. There's a nice vibe to it. Oh, that's really nice. This is starting to look like something quite cozy, actually. Okay, so let's go and add a bunch of these over here. What else should we add? Because we don't have any pumpkins. It's very sad. I mean, I'm assuming at some point we'll get like a Halloween DLC, which adds pumpkins. But until then, we need to do something else. I mean, one thing that is for sure is there's a bunch of junk lying around. It is Hagrid, after all, guys. So let's just grab a bunch of these and place them down. Not sure what this is, but I'll use it because it looks pretty sweet. Here you go. These next to it. We can just really use all this sort of junk because it is all kind of the same vibe. We can even hang one of these ropes on here because why not? Looks pretty sweet. And on top of this cart I put down, we can put some dynamite. I mean, why not? Looks fun. And of course, a crate with apples also works wonders. Look at this. Look at how nice that looks. And look at this. This is even more perfect. It's as if it's made for it. We could even add like a bit of a tiny little flame underneath, as if something is actually cooking over here. I just need some wood. There you go. That's a good start. There's no campfire or anything. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Or am I just absolutely tripping? There has to be something, right? If there is, I can't find it. So let me just use some separate little tiny planks, just like this. I'll just place a few down on top of each other. Absolutely beautiful. And maybe even some black ash on the ground below to make it look like it's yeah, that's fine. Now let's not forget about the scale of these figures, because I definitely will. Let me just put a few down, make sure I don't forget. Also some benches would be cool. And I do think we received some new ones, didn't we? Some more generic. Here you go. Yes. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so let me just put one here and sit over there. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be yet, but we'll see. And then some trash cans as well. I think these are just fine. One back here, too. I cannot believe how much time I spent on this pathetic little build. And the roof is not even done yet. I guess first, let's kind of fix the landscape here, because this is looking pretty bare, pretty boring. I think we definitely need some rocks that are kind of sticking out to kind of, you know, shape up the landscape a bit better. And this one is looking pretty good so far, I think. Then also one in this tiny little in-between spot. There you go. Man, I love rocks. How can you not like rocks? I mean, this looks great. And the thing is, on the other side of the path over here, this is going to be a big rock section anyway, so we can just kind of connect it to that. Here you go. Giving it a lot more depth and detail. Also have these huge chunks of rocks, which makes it very, very quick and easy. And you know this stuff by now. This goes hand in hand with some rock surface as well, to make it fade out into the grass, the moss. Looks much better. Oh, there you go. Oh, very nice. And at the very top here, this should of course be some vegetation, some more ferns, tiny ones, big ones, you know it. How I wish we had 3D grass, like tall grass. Would have been great, because this is just, look at this. This looks so bad. And I can't just put all of these here, because, I mean, I could, but that's... I'm just not really sure what to do with this whole area besides this. And this is not... I don't love the way this looks, to be fair. I don't know. I suppose we'll have to see. For now, I'm just going to finish this roof, which I'm looking forward to a lot. And then I'll be right back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, here you go. It is all finished. Ignore these two things, because I placed those down exclusively to get people over here, which those people did. Yes. Now it looks about like this. I also added some tiny walls around it, because this image seems to have that as well. But besides that, it's pretty much still the same thing. I tried adding a path inside of this, but it's not really working. This is too steep, it's too small, it's too tight. So unfortunately, that's not gonna work. So if you have any ideas, let me know down below in the comments, as always. I also did one tiny thing, is adding these supports below the wood. Somebody commented this, and it's actually a decent idea. Without that, it's a bit boring, a bit bare, very unrealistic. So I did that around it. Not everywhere, not here, because you don't really see that much from inside the coaster anyway. So yeah, looks a bit better. But yeah, then in the next episode, I do hope to finish this entire section. I'm not entirely sure how and what I'm gonna add. Maybe a bit of a indoor area over here. Again, referencing that wooden bridge. Some trees around it. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway, then for today, I think that is pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future video. And then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Benny's Movie Park.